If you are a Pekiti practitioner, at some point you would have heard that Pekiti Tirsia is all about geometry. But what does that actually mean? Hey, this is Tuhan Aditya from LightHaven, and one of the reasons I really love this art, one of the reasons I really love Pekiti Tirsia is because of the use of geometry as well as the human body for finding references, for finding targets, and to build the base principles behind the art. Today I'm going to try and demonstrate this principle for you with 3 examples. Range is an extremely important aspect of fighting. In Pekiti or in weapon arts, at long range, it means that Zarir can target my hand, or he should target my hand, because if he just comes to hit me, I am able to hit him as well, right? So obviously we both don't want to die at the same time. So it makes sense that the first target for me should also be Zarir's hand. So let's say he's coming to hit me, I am targeting Zarir's hand before I go to do other things and make entries and then finish the fight, right? I need to target his hand first. At medium range, my other live hand can come into place. So Zarir comes closer, a bit closer. So at medium range is where this hand can be used to parry and hit, can be used to jam, it can be used to control, all sorts of things. At close range, my live hand can look to lock Zarir's arm, can look to lock Zarir's shoulder, it can look to punch, pull, push. I can use the punyo of my stick also for all sorts of things, to hook, to strike, to do all sorts of things, right? So range is really important. To understand correct range is also really important. So Pekiti gives you a way to understand, or a reference point for you to be able to judge range. It gives you 3 different reference points. The first is what we just spoke about, that at long range, Zarir can hit my hand, I can hit Zarir's hand. So if we extend our weapons, this is long range. At medium range, I can reach his body, he can reach my body. At close range, come closer, we can touch each other's bodies with our hands. So that's one easy way of referencing. But in the moment, it can be a little bit hard if I'm not experienced. So another way that we reference it is that long range is 3 stick lengths away, medium range is 2 stick lengths away, close range is 1 stick length away. Now the way that Pekiti measures the stick is really important, because the measurement of the stick is equal to the measurement of the hand. So we measure our stick from our armpit to the tip of my finger. That's approximately the length of my stick, right? So it's approximately the length of my arm. So at long range, that means that, extend, my arm is the first stick length. The stick obviously is the second stick length. Zarir's arm is the third stick length. Okay, so long range is 3 stick lengths away, medium range is 2, close range is 1. Now how this fits into actually combat is that we also measure steps by the length of our hands or the length of our stick.
In the old practices, the weapon must be according to the length of your arm. Yeah. So meaning to say, this weapon is the extension of your arm, and it is measured as your steps. So your steps like this, see, what is the distance of your weapon is the distance of your feet to your step. See? So that is your calculated steps, right? 4 steps. So when you deliver this, see, it is assumed that you have already intellectually measured your range. So in the depthness of the system, we deal with geometry.
GrandTuhon says that the length of your step should be equal to the length of your stick. And remember, the length of your stick is equal to the length of your arm. So that means long range is 3 steps away from his body, medium range is 2 steps away from his body, close range is 1 step. So what does that mean? From here, if I take 1 step, the length of a step is the length of my arm. Now I am at medium range because I'm 2 stick lengths away. If I take 1 step, I'm now at close range because I'm 1 stick length away, right? And that's my last step. So 3 stick lengths away is long range, 2 stick lengths away from his body is medium range, 1 stick length away from his body is close range. So these are ways where we're using literally the geometry and the measurements of the body to be able to build reference points for us to be able to gauge range. Pekiti is really famous for a lot of its locks and a lot of its throws, but how do we actually get into it? Another thing Pekiti is really famous for is its lock flows. But how do I learn to go from one lock to the other lock, to the other lock, to the other lock, and continue to move from lock to lock. How do I learn that? Pekiti gives you a template or a reference for this as well. And you would have heard GT talk about this. At some point I will make a whole other video on this. We call them apex points, right?
So the primary formula represents apex 1, apex 2, apex 3. Okay. Now, with the given triad, we deal with mathematics. Which is the branch of geometry. Okay?
Right, so in the body we have 18 apex points. So if I borrow Zarir, my handy assistant for the day, if I borrow Zarir, so this is apex 1, apex 2, apex 3. Apex 1, apex 2, apex 3. His ankle is apex 1, knee is apex 2, hip is apex 3. Same on the other side. On his body, apex 1, apex 2, apex 3. Turn please. On the other side also apex 1, apex 2, apex 3. Right? So we divide the body into 18 apexes. Now people are often very confused by these apexes. What apexes are, they're not pressure points. I'm not trying to put pressure over there to knock him out or stop his kidney or some nonsense like that. What they are is, they are points where the body bends, right? So this is where his wrist bends, his elbow bends, his shoulder bends, his neck bends. He can bend from his solar plexus and his hip bends. What they also do, so when we're attacking locks, what we like to do is, just turn a little diagonally. We'll look for triangles that are formed in the body, right? So come closer. So how we transform these into locks is we look for triangles that are formed in the bodies where each apex is the end or the end point of the triangle. So one triangle is apex 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 1. Or again here as well, there's another triangle. If Zarir is just relaxing, here is another triangle, his feet are in another triangle. So I'm looking for these triangles, right? And again, the end points of these triangles are the apexes. And so when I'm looking to find a lock, I'm looking for one of these triangles and I'm looking to attack any one of these end points. So let's say it's a wrist lock, that's apex 1 to apex 1. If I want to go to the elbow, turn, that can be my apex 1 to his apex 2. If I want to go to the shoulder, I can go this way or I can go the other way, right? So on that same limb, just using the apexes, I have found a way to ladder from a wrist lock to an arm bar to some sort of a shoulder lock. And the same applies for throws. So let's say we're here and I do some sort of an arm drag over here. And now I want to go up high to apex 1. That's a nice little throw and spine kind of break from Pekiti where I did an arm drag, I turned his head, my hand then went to his hips and I went apex 1 and apex 3 and I pushed at the same time, and that's what kind of gave me that structural break, right? So using the apexes as the points that we are attacking for joint locks gives us kind of a blueprint or a template to be able to work our lock flows. Now let's talk about that triangle and the importance of the open triangle and the 45-degree angle. You see this footwork a lot, right? This is just your open triangle, whatever you may call it. This is just your open triangle. But that 45-degree angle is so important. Why? If Zarir punches me, if I take a 45-degree step, look at my head just gets off center line. Okay? The importance is that I get my head off center line. So Zarir punches me, I get my head off center line. What I do with my hands, up to you. Am I just going to slip? Am I going to parry? Am I going to bisect? Am I going to scoop? Whatever it may be, I'm just trying to get my head off center line. Right? I can do something like this where I'm hitting and then follow up. Now, none of that is possible though for me to be able to counterattack, because remember, Pekiti is a offensive system. I am not trying to be defensive. If he has found a way to be offensive first by punching me, I need to find a way to immediately go on the counter offensive. If I take a step bigger than 40, let's say I sidestep, I cannot reach him with my hands. I can reach him with my legs just about, but I cannot reach him with my hands. If I step backwards at a 45-degree angle, which also we do at some points, punch, I can't reach him with any hands. I cannot reach him with this front leg. I can only reach him with this back leg. However, both of these things may take more time than what I want to invest in this situation, let's say. If I step forward at a 45-degree angle, I can immediately reach the rear with my hands and my legs. So it's up to me if I want to go and hit him over here and then attack that arm, or go there, or kick here, or switch into something like a knee. It's up to me if I want to scoop out and enter with an elbow or something or the other. I have options because I have got off center line and I have been able to counter attack immediately. If I go less than 45, there are some arts like Shastra Vidya that will go 22.5. So just punch, just keep the fist out. The other idea behind 45 is that it gets my head off center line. Going less than 45, I can still get my head off center line, but it's a lot closer. Getting it going so close, if I mess up, it's a little bit scary, it's a little bit dangerous. 45 degrees tends to be a little bit safer, okay? Which is why we tend to choose that 45-degree angle. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, if you learned from what you saw, please do like and share this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave that in the comments down below. Please do subscribe to the channel. All of these things really do help out the school and the channel a lot. A huge thank you to everybody on our Patreon page and everybody on our YouTube memberships. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you'd like to know more about the exclusive content that we offer on either of the two pages, check out the links in the description down below. Thank you Zarir for assisting me. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video.